Vocables. I think that's a real thing. I don't.
Oh,
think
it
that
is.
was a
I looked
typo.
it up. I looked it up.
I mean, I imagine it's like noises you can make with your vocals.
Yeah, it's like, I didn't look up any examples, but I did look it up and it's a thing. I made my own example.
Hello and welcome to Way Too Broad, a place for friends to talk about things that they're really, really ridiculously excited about, of which there are just so many this week, and always. I'm Hannah, and these are my co-hosts, Erin and Ben. Hi, Erin.
Hey, Hannah and Ben, my co-hosts.
Yeah. Hey, Ben.
Hello, my co-hosts, Hannah and Erin.
I'd like to say hello to... Oh, we've already done. Stolen that bit.
I mean, they do it every week, so why can't we steal it every week?
Ben, I just saw that your lovely girlfriend Kylie is playing Firewatch right now.
Yeah, she is.
That's a great game.
She actually just hit her desk for some reason. Just now.
She hit it?
Yeah, she did a little drum thing.
Oh.
It seemed related to
Something
Firewatch. I don't know.
Exciting must have happened. I had a realization yesterday that relates to Kylie that I'd like to share with you.
Are you in love with her as like a sister-in-law?
I'm
What
in
does that
sister
entail
love.
exactly?
I don't know, just loving her as a sister-in-law.
I had that realization so long ago.
Yeah.
This was a recent realization. And this realization was that I don't know if I've ever mentioned to you guys a streamer that I really like on Twitch. Her name is Kate Stark. And she has purple hair and she plays a lot of PUBG.
I feel like I have heard you mention her before.
Well, this week she was on my other favorite PUBG-related media, Awful Squad, and it was the first time I had ever heard her voice not while watching her face move, and I realized that she reminds me a ton of Kylie in the way that she talks.
Huh.
So that's everybody should check out Kate if you know Kylie, or if you don't and you want to know what she's like. But it was funny because she's also Canadian, so she was saying stuff like, instead of like, oh shit, she'd be like, oh hell, which was really funny.
Such a mild curse.
Oh,
Typical
yeah.
of a Canadian.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I'm having an exciting day. Do you know why?
Why?
This is the beginning of my luxurious 5-day vacation
Woo!
for my 30th birthday.
Yay! Happy almost birthday.
Happy birthday.
Thank you. And related to this, Hannah and I have a story to tell you, Ben.
Okay.
So we are going to Savannah for...
Savannah.
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 Ooh-na-na.
Half of my heart is in Savannah. Oh, no, no.
I am stealing that bit from your best friend, but I am also, she psychically stole it from me first.
Yeah.
So,
That's documented.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can show you the text.
Yeah.
So.
So we're going, as you know, Ben, we're going to Savannah, Hannah and I, and Ian, and our friend Sarah. I pick them up from the airport tomorrow.
Woo!
And we're driving down to Charleston to pick up Sarah, and she's driving us in a Tesla to
She has a
Savannah.
Tesla?
Yeah. Her family has a
Dope.
Tesla. Yeah, it's dope.
It's dope.
So
I imagine. I've never seen it.
Yeah, me neither. So we're going in a Tesla, but to this Savannah, I'm gonna let Hannah tell this, but we're going to Savannah for the St. Patrick's Day Parade, which happens to be on my birthday, and it's the third largest parade in America, and it's our third year going.
Yeah.
But there's going to be a special guest this year. Could you guess for us, Ben, who might be joining us this year for the Savannah?
Not us.
Not us.
Joining the parade.
Let me rephrase. Who's crashing my fucking birthday party?
Can I get a hint?
No. Somebody you would not want to crash your fucking birthday party.
Yeah, that's a good hint.
It's
Who's
like
the last person that you would invite to your birthday party? Who's the
Donald
penultimate?
Trump.
Yes. No, it's not him. But who is the other last person? If it, like the penultimate person that you would invite
To my birthday party?
Yeah.
Yeah. The vice person you
Mike
would
Pence? No way, Mike Pence?
Yeah.
No shit, really? He's gonna be there?
Yes. Hannah, explain the repercussions of Mike fucking goddamn Pence being at this parade.
So at this parade, which is one of the things I always say about it when people are like, why would you go all the way to Savannah for St. Patrick's Day parade, is there are no open container laws in downtown Savannah, is that there's all this extra security wherever the fuck he's gonna be, and there's no drinking allowed in that area.
Oh my
I don't
god,
remember
what? How is that allowed to
And
be
it's
enforced?
a considerable chunk of the parade. It's like more than half of the parade. It's going to be a no
and
drinking
no one's
zone.
allowed to...
No. The only thing that you can take in there is like strollers, service dogs, and like water in a clear water bottle.
Is that...
God damn it.
Why?
Fucking motherfucker.
Is it a security thing? Like, what?
No, it's some sort of trust arrangement between him and Mother. That's what we decided.
Absolutely.
Mother, I swear there will be no alcohol.
I will make sure of it.
Erin, you need to tell him what you told me about that.
Well, I read today a few things. I did some research today on the matter. So it's a considerable chunk. I'm actually going to pull this up on my phone because I will ruin my internet connection. So there's a considerable chunk of the parade that will have metal detectors to get in. Also, there's a lot of bars and restaurants and businesses on that strip that will have to close at midnight on Friday night. Keep in mind, including one of our favorite bars to go to.
God damn it.
Keep in mind that this is like a big tourist revenue season for a lot of these businesses. So they're going to be closed, but closed by 12 a.m., and the area won't open until 7 p.m. And to get into the area, you'll have to go through like metal detector checkpoints with your fucking bottled water, and that's it.
So weird. What's he afraid of? Because like they're not going to let the good guys with the guns in either.
I know. Oh my god, Mike Pence, VP Mike. Here's a headline from Savannah Morning News: VP Mike Pence is bringing major security changes to Savannah St. Patrick's Day. I'm so pissed.
That's so fucking
angry.
stupid.
I'm so angry.
This is the last time we went. No, the first time we went, we had a night where we were out at bars with brand new friends until 5 a.m. And now they're all going to be closed at midnight.
Oh
Do
my
you
gosh,
think-
this is...
Do you think that you and Molly could just start kissing and it would scare him off?
Molly's not coming.
not going.
So no.
No.
Yeah.
So here's the no list. It's so long.
Oh no.
This is just ridiculous. I just can't even... So this is a considerable chunk of the parade. All right,
Yeah.
This is like, I would say, fucking most of the parade. Here's the no list. No aerosol sprays. No aerosol sprays. Air horns. Alcoholic beverages. Animals other than service animals. Backpacks. Bags.
What?
This is a parade. This is a parade. Chairs. Coolers. Drones. Duffel bags. E-cigarettes. Explosives. Well, that's reasonable. Firearms. Flags on sticks. Glass containers.
I'm sorry. The vice president is not allowing firearms at the parade. But let's fucking put them in schools with teachers, you dipshit.
Yeah.
Yep. No kegs, no knives, blades, or sharp objects of any length, laser pointers, mace, packages, pockets, or hand tools, such as Leatherman tools, that's in quotes, portable chairs.
They already
signs.
said chairs. Did they think that portable chairs
Wait,
aren't
hang on,
covered
no
by
chairs
chairs?
These are fools. I'm almost done.
No portable. chairs or permanent chairs.
No portable chairs. Posters or signs? No posters, no signs, no gay flags. They don't say that, but I'm assuming. Sticks or poles, suitcases, tables, tents, thermoses, umbrellas. You can't bring any of that into a considerable chunk of the parade. What you can bring in is ADA canes, blankets, cameras, infant needs, phones, sealed,
well, what
clear.
If my infant needs a chair?
No chairs. You can bring the womb in. Sealed, clear water bottles, service dogs, a small wallet. It says that. It says small wallet. You can bring a small wallet. I'm sorry, ma'am. Your wallet is much too large for the security zone. Strollers and wheelchairs. That's it. It's the no fun zone for like most of the parade. Oh, that motherfucker. I'm just so pissed.
How long during the day? Is it like the whole day of the parade?
I'm not literally pissed, Hannah. What the fuck are you talking about?
No, literally, he's a motherfucker.
Oh, right. I'm sorry. Ben, what was your question?
Is it all day of the day of the parade that it's
the parade's like over 4 hours.
Oh my god.
I can't believe this. Is there some petition we can sign? Nobody invited him. Nobody was like, oh yeah, fuck yeah, Mike Pence. That sounds like a fun time. Has
anyone ever said any of that?
And no one's ever been like, I really wish Mike Pence would come to my event that's supposed to be fun. Nobody's ever said that.
Yeah.
But tell him the other thing about how he has an actual rule about... Okay, Erin told me earlier today that Mike Pence has an actual rule between him and his wife, or I don't know how it came about.
He can't be alone with a woman?
No, well, probably that too, but he can't go to events where there is alcohol without her present.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, only residents who lived in the enhanced security zone, aka no fun zone, will be permitted in the area during this time, but if those residents leave their homes, they will be stopped by security.
What?
Security officers will need to see photo, identification, and proof of residence. This is fucking racist shit. I'm so pissed.
Do they have to carry their lease with them?
I guess fucking so.
Hang on. So is this like... how can it be during... if he's marching or whatever in the parade... Is this just like for the area that he's getting like staged in?
This is for like 4 or 5 blocks of Bull Street, which is the main parade route.
Well,
where is Trump going on St. Patrick's Day? You got me scared. It's Boston.
I don't know.
Why is he doing this to us?
I don't know. I think we will be largely unaffected. We usually hang out at the beginning of the parade route.
Yeah.
And we'll move, once the parade's over, we'll move to Forsyth Park anyway, which is several blocks in both north and east of the no fun zone. So I think we'll be fine.
Good. I don't want to see his dumb face in person, though.
Yeah, if we do, we're going to boo.
Yes, please. Okay, good. I'm glad that you said that.
Oh, yeah. That's our democratic right.
Yeah.
We're going to boo the fuck out of him.
Boo the shit out of him.
Hannah, do you have a 5-day weekend too? You do. Are you off tomorrow?
Yes.
Yeah. And you're
Thursday,
off Monday.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Yeah. We're flying down in the afternoon, so we're gonna have a nice leisurely morning to get all our shit pulled together.
I'm gonna pull all your shit together.
So sorry about that, Erin. Erin wanted to leave early.
Huh?
Erin wanted to leave early, and then
that's okay.
I did not
get
just
the memo. Weird because you sent me a flight, and I was like, "Yeah, that's great." And then you bought a different one. I just didn't understand that order of operations. You were like, "How's this flight?" And I was like, "That's great." And you're like, "Great, I'm going to buy it in a completely different one." It's totally fine. It's only 4 hours, but I was just confused.
I just found a better deal. You can't deny me deals.
It looked more expensive to me.
She meant a better deal for her not having to get up as early.
It's the whole package.
It's
deal.
fine. It's totally fine. It's totally fine. It's fine.
There are some things you can't measure in money, Erin. God.
That's true. That's true.
So, okay. Can we take a quick side tangent to a thing that Ben just reminded me of?
That should be the motto of the show. You should replace it to, can we take a quick side tangent to a thing?
Yes. All right. Wait, what are we drinking real quick, though?
Oh, I'm drinking water.
Water.
What?
Like a real Ben.
Ganged up on.
What are you drinking, Erin?
I am drinking wine, of which I've already drank much of. And watch out, curveball, half-calf coffee.
Oh, shit.
In a mug that I bought Molly for Christmas and have never seen her use.
Wow.
How many times have you used it?
The first time this time, right now, once.
The first time this time right now once.
How do you answer a question like that?
That's
all right.
I'm not. I think that is the best answer.
It was the best answer. This morning, I was driving to work and we still had a lot of power out in the area. Actually, my power's still out this morning too. But we're not going to talk about power outages again because that's
boring.
Radio poison. So, but then... But there was a stoplight out, and as you guys probably know, because you know, paid attention in driver's ed, if there's a stoplight that's out, you're supposed to treat it as a four-way stop.
Yeah.
Well, so I got to the intersection, and it was me coming from one way and another guy coming from the left, and I got there definitely before him, and I stopped, and then I started to go again, and he got there a little bit after me, did like a real soft slowdown, and then just kept on going and flipped me off all the way through the intersection.
Oh my god.
Wow.
What a dickhead.
Really slow across the intersection with his finger up at me, like staring at me.
I'm Team Hannah here. I'm definitely Team Hannah.
Yeah, what the fuck?
That was your right of way.
I know! I was like, what the fuck? Like, why?
I hope his middle finger falls off.
Me too. I hope it did right after that. And then he crashed. No.
Just that. Just his middle finger falling off is enough.
Yeah. Do you want a puzzle update real quick?
Yeah, I was waiting. I was really hoping that you would offer because I was feeling ashamed to ask.
Update on the puzzle. It's done. Except I lost two of the pieces. Well,
that doesn't sound fucking done to me.
Yeah.
It's awaiting the return of its last two pieces that got somehow thrown somewhere by a cat. But other than that, it's done. And I stayed up way too late finishing it the other night, and then I dreamt of puzzles all night.
You gotta calm down on the weekdays, Hannah. You're raging too hard.
I'm raging too hard, I know. I was like, I gotta finish this.
Just really three more pieces. Just three more.
Yeah. So that's my puzzle update.
That's great. Thank you so much.
So I think that's all I've got. Anybody else have any updates?
No.
For our upfront stuff?
No.
No.
Oh, actually, you know.
You're so adamant.
Earlier today, just on a whim, because I'd gotten home from school. I got home at like 8 from class today.
Wow, brag much?
I was really confused by that for a second. And I just didn't feel like doing homework yet, so I was watching a Monster Factory episode.
Oh.
Which I hadn't really watched that much of. Have we talked about that before on the show? I feel like we have.
No.
Erin, do you know what it is?
You fucking maybe have to yourself. Certainly not to me.
It's a Polygon show that Justin McElroy and Griffin McElroy, their name is so fucking hard for me to say.
I know.
McElroy and McElroy do.
Oh, you have told me about this.
Yeah, they like go on character creators on different games and make
I
fucked up characters.
apologize for my earlier comment.
Which one were you watching, Ben?
Spore.
Oh yeah, that was
Because
fun.
we played a lot of Spore when we were younger. And do you remember like before the game came out when they released the demo that was like just the creature creator? And you, Lucas, and I got it when we were at our grandparents for some reason at their house in Florida, and we just made a ton of fucking different kinds of creatures. And then I was also reminded at how that game was super fun at first, but then really, really trails off at the end when you like, because the way it works is you start as a single cell organism and then you like go through all the stages of evolution, and then you start going through like the tribal stage of civilization, and then like cities, and then eventually you get into space travel. But once you get to that point, there's just like nothing to do.
Yeah.
And I felt like that game had a lot of potential to be a lot more fun than it was.
Yeah, because at first, Erin, you're like going around. You're like eating other smaller creatures, and then you're getting bigger. And
or you're making friends with them. You have like the choice of being an herbivore too, and like befriending other creatures.
Right, and you and mating with them and stuff, and you're like swinging,
marrying them,
like, swimming around in this like liquid.
You're swinging with other couples.
Yep, and you're like just like growing all the time. You're getting bigger and adding more like parts to yourself and stuff, and it's really cool. And then like once you get into space, it's just like, do you want to go to this planet?
And then people like randomly declare war on you constantly because there were like a million fucking planets. Yeah, it was bad, but I liked the up to like the tribal stage.
Tribal stage was okay. It really, really tore Griffin apart, if I remember correctly.
Oh, I haven't gotten there yet.
He was very angry at it.
Fucking spoiler.
I think it was because it kept on crashing more than the actual game. But
it's an old game by now.
You are.
Excuse me.
I have a small upfront, which is, remember last time I was telling you about that show? I was watching Broadchurch and how I was like not enthused about the second season.
Yeah.
Well, best case scenario, it turns out my parents are totally watching the second season, so I can stop watching it and they can just like tell me what happens. Total
perfect.
Hey, speaking of second seasons, did you hear that Take My Wife season 2 came out on iTunes, right?
Yeah, I keep meaning to buy it. But it was like number 1 and number 2, season 1s and 2. Season 2 and 1 were number 1 and number 2.
Wow.
2 was 1 and 1 was 2.
We get it.
Okay.
But what rank were they?
Well, season 2 is number 1.
That's wacky.
But who's on?
That's zany.
No wonder it's a comedy program. That's cool. Great news for those great ladies.
Yeah,
people.
Oh, and Cameron Esposito is coming to Durham to our premier queer bar in downtown Durham, and her show sold out in 10 minutes. I was like,
wow.
Yep.
Did you get tickets?
No. And I'll tell you why. During my obsession.
Tell me why.
All right.
Well, that's actually because I didn't know about it, but even if I did, I wouldn't have.
Okay.
For reasons forthcoming.
You piqued my interest.
But I think I'm last this time.
You are last.
Season episode.
Of the Bible, as previously
discussed.
Ben is first, though.
The last shall be first.
And the second shall be first. And the third shall be second. That's...
No one knows your freaking algorithm for the podcast order.
I just told you it. The first shall be last, and the second shall be first, and the third shall be second.
Okay. I see. So we kind of move in like a shift where the first goes and it's like a pop.
It's like,
It's a shift and a pop. It's a standard shift and a pop algorithm.
It's like a pop and a shift and a push. Actually, if I'm thinking about it, if I'm breaking it down,
it's like those pencils that you had in high school or whatever, where you just pull the top part off.
Oh, those were so dumb.
You're
like they were fun, but like I just felt like it was a really dumb idea compared to like a regular mechanical pencil where you just click it.
I didn't see you creating a pencil.
Yeah,
in
way
high
to
school.
throw stones from your glass house
Of pencils.
Yeah. What's your obsession, Ben?
Speaking of lame Pence, Mike Pence, am I right? Okay,
Fuck
continue.
that guy.
Fuck that guy.
Fuck that guy.
Fuck
He's
the
pensing
patriarchy.
on my parade.
Good one.
Nice. My obsession is a podcast.
Oh.
It's a really popular and well-known one.
Is it way too broad?
Can you imagine?
I actually can.
It's not.
Okay,
Sorry to disappoint. It's
that's okay.
The Daily.
Oh, yes.
I'm assuming you both know The Daily, and do you both listen to it or not?
Don't presume. I don't know this.
You don't know what The Daily is?
Fuck no.
Oh, it's the New York Times podcast made by Michael Barbaro, and it's basically like, it's like 20 or 30 minutes, and it comes out every day, Monday through Friday. Why it's called The Daily.
Well, it's not every day, is
Well,
it?
you're right. It's every
be called the
business.
Week Daily.
Should be called The Business Daily.
Week
It
daily.
should. That's
Week
actually not
Daily.
a bad. It's not a
And-
bad name.
Daily's good. Work daily.
Work daily.
Work Daily, yeah. I'll pitch
Bank-
all these to Michael Barbaro next time I
Bank
see him.
daily.
Thanks.
And it's basically, it's a news podcast. Obviously, it's the New York Times. And basically what Michael Barbaro does is like kind of pick one topic that's like one important news topic of the day, and then bring on the New York Times like correspondent who's been reporting on it for months and months to talk in like really big detail. It's not the word, but I'm looking for great detail about
One big detail. Give us one big
talking about
detail
one
there,
big
John.
detail about like whatever it is. Like this week, and the reason I've been like so obsessed with this week especially is because Monday and Tuesday's episode were both really, really good. They're about the same thing.
I listened to Mondays. But I
Wasn't
didn't
it
listen to
super
Tuesdays.
good?
Yes,
I liked it a lot.
was.
It was about
And I remember thinking to myself, I'm going to totally listen to Tuesdays because
Yeah.
that was a great cliffhanger, and
Yep.
I didn't do it. So go ahead and tell her what it's
Fucking
about.
liar. You're
It's
a fucking
about-
liar to yourself.
it was about Leopoldo Lopez. Do you know who that is? Because I did not.
No.
I didn't either.
And after listening to both these episodes, I was like, man, I really should know who this person is. He's like the most prominent opposition leader in Venezuela. And he's been a political prisoner for years now. Right now he's under house arrest. But he's also been to jail a few times. And because he was a vocal critic of Hugo Chavez, and Hugo Chavez's successor, and a vocal proponent of democracy and you know, freedom of speech and all that good stuff.
Wow.
And he hasn't, so he's gone to prison like pretty much for speaking out against the government. They like couch it up as like he's inciting violence with his speeches, and that's how they, you know, weakly justify arresting him, but they're not even really trying to do that anymore. They're just kind of like arresting
and
him when he talks.
It's essentially the opposite. Like it's totally trumped
Oh
up
yeah,
because-
he's a nonviolent, like committed
Yeah.
to nonviolence.
Yeah, and he says he's very explicit about it.
Yeah.
And they're saying they were saying he's sending secret signals to his followers to
Yeah.
be violent by telling them to be nonviolent.
Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't know how fucked up Venezuela was, honestly. Like I knew it was bad, and Hugo Chavez was not a good leader, and I knew that his successor was kind of a similar story, but I really didn't know the details of it. And The Daily just did such a good job of shedding light on this. And they also, so there was an episode last week about the tariffs that Trump is introducing on steel, something that I don't really, when I first heard about them, I was like, why does everyone hate these? I didn't know really, I knew like what a tariff was technically, but I didn't really know the implications of it. And so they had like an economic correspondent come on and talk about how between World War I and World War II, when there was like a lot of growing nationalism in Europe and America, a lot of countries started implementing tariffs and starting kind of trade wars, and ended up being a kind of a contributing factor into the start of World War II.
Oh.
And like trade wars can really become actual wars, and like that's why the WTO exists now, because the world as a community kind of recognized that if we're interacting with each other commercially and have like commercial dependencies and this cooperation where we all make rules and agree on them and follow them as a trading community, it can actually help with national security for all the parties involved as well.
Wow.
And it's something that nationalists like Trump tend to, they ignore that, and like when you try to just do what's best for you, it's like one of those things where you do what in the short term, which obviously everything he fucking does is short term because he can't think about consequences for the future.
Can't think, period.
It's like in the short term, maybe it's better for you. But in the long term, it's actually hurting you because it's hurting the overall community that we're a leader of.
Right.
You know? Not to mention, like, the tariffs, they're so stupid. We make 2/3 of our steel in America. And we get 2% of our steel from China. 2%. And that's like who ostensibly it's like supposed to hurt is Chinese steel producers who are flooding the market. But America doesn't buy that steel. And we buy steel from Canada, Mexico, South Korea, and like a bunch of other people that would have been hurt. Well, Canada and Mexico got excluded from the tariffs, but like South Korea we buy a fuck ton of steel from, and they're our ally. And we're about to launch negotiations in North Korea, hopefully with their help, and yet we just levied tariffs that hurt their steel production. It's stupid. It's the stupidest shit. And now I know it's the stupidest shit because I listened to the Daily.
Hey.
You know it, for sure.
Yeah. It's just, if you listen to like a week of the Daily, you really... And you know what it is too? It's like because they pick such a specific topic each day, they don't like try and cover all the news of the past day, they just like pick one thing. It kind of helps you filter a little bit, you know, because there's just so much going on now. It can be, number one, overwhelming, and you kind of end up losing track of everything. That's happened to me, definitely, is like so many things were happening where I was like, I'm not going to learn the details of all of these, so I end up not learning the details of any of them.
True.
But with the Daily, it like picks one for you and just goes into a good amount of detail. And
Big
quick,
detail.
too. Yeah, big detail.
Yeah.
One big detail for each story. That's really cool. You know, that's like enough time for like instead of NPR or something.
Yeah.
To like check in with that, because sometimes NPR I'm like turn it off in rage because it's just some other dumb fucking frickin' thing. You know.
Yep. Well, yeah. And I just, like, I can't handle, like, unexpectedly hearing that man's voice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
What man?
Or even, like, the term.
You know what man,
President
Ben.
that man.
Oh,
can't.
God,
Fuck
yeah.
around.
Oh, he's the fucking
You know
worst.
who we're talking about.
So it's been hard for me to listen to NPR. And for a while I was listening to The Daily, not The Daily Show, every day. I used to watch The Daily Show every morning. And that was kind of like similar in a way that it was when it was
Jon Stewart.
Yeah, that's the guy. And kind of in like the prime of it, and I would watch it in the morning, and they do like have that segment in the middle of it, but it was obviously less newsy than The Daily. But yeah, The Daily does an excellent job. I agree with your obsession.
Thank you.
I approve.
Oh, I also recommend Friday's episode. Like, for people who haven't listened before, I think starting on Friday's episode and
So what's
listening
the
to
date on that, Ben?
March 9th.
March 9th, because that'll be a different Friday than when people are
Oh,
hearing this.
yes, you're right. Friday, March 9th. It's a good start.
Friday, March 9th, or Monday and Tuesday, March 12th and 13th.
Yes, all very good. March 9th was about the kind of system in place for powerful men to silence any woman that wants to accuse them of sexual harassment.
Oh, shit.
And it was staggering, honestly.
Wow. And maybe he would recommend last Friday's too, but it hasn't happened yet, people. So how could
Dollars
he even
to
know?
donuts, I will, though.
Yeah, dollars to donuts.
Expression I never understood, but I love.
Yeah.
I've never heard it before this very moment.
Really?
Really?
Yeah,
I
right
didn't-
now.
I
this
didn't just
right
make
now,
it up,
this
right?
first time, right now,
No.
right now.
No, you didn't make it
Fuck,
up.
wait, what was it? First time, this time, right now, once. First time, this time, right now, once.
First time this time, right now, once. Dollars to donuts, and y'all, we're talking to some New Englanders right now, so they're legit about their fucking donkeys.
I had a donut today, but it wasn't
Dollars.
a Dunks. It wasn't dollars. It was free.
For what? From where?
Work.
For
Work.
for
I don't know what I'm supposed to do right now. I'm looking up where the idiom came from, but I'm losing interest.
Don't even bother, because your dad's probably just saying it aloud right now in the car, so everybody can just listen to that.
Dollars to donuts is a pseudo-betting term. Pseudo in that it didn't originate with actual betting involving donuts, but just as a pleasant-sounding alliterative phrase which indicated short odds. Dollars are valuable, but donuts aren't.
Well, they're shaped like O's. Like zeros.
And really, price-wise, a dollar is less valuable than a donut.
And things are definitely priced
Nowadays.
based on what number they're shaped most like, right?
This donut's free, right? Because it's a 0.
That's why if you buy one hot dog, it's $1, but if you buy two, it's $11.
I always wondered why there was such a steep increase.
It's so good.
Oh, okay. All right.
Oh,
Good
I get
obsession,
it.
Ben. Great job.
I get it. It's like I'm betting dollars against your nothing because I know I'll be right.
Oh, right.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I was thinking about in tennis, because they say love, and that's from French when they said l'œuf, which means the egg, which is because an egg is shaped like a 0.
That's wild.
This is foreshadowing.
Well, I don't know
My
what part of that
obsession-
could have been.
My obsession this week is eggs.
Oh, I'm interested.
Or is it tennis?
Gosh, there's just so much
Or
suspense
is
being
it
built up.
hitting eggs with tennis rackets?
Or is it donuts? But are eclairs? Eclairs are more valuable than a donut.
Yeah.
Yeah, by
Because they're
one.
ones and donuts are zeros. But if you have an eclair and a donut together, that's a 10.
Or arrange it the other way, it's a 1.
A 1.
So it's the same value as just an eclair. Buy one, get one free.
Oh, shit.
Oh, nice.
That's how buy one, get one free started, because things were shaped like zeros.
I don't believe that we're not high right now.
Oh my god. Every time somebody talks about like acting high or whatever, it always makes me think about this one time in college where I was really high with a bunch of people that lived in my dorm, and we all decided that like everything smelled amazing, and we just started looking around for things to smell. And I vividly remember having a whole jug of Dawn or not Dawn, no laundry detergent of some kind, just like in my whole face, just like huffing laundry detergent.
Not safe.
It smelled really good. But
I just thought of a really fun idea, just like those fake pronunciation videos. Hanwario. We could do a series of like fake explain the origin stories.
Oh, that's great.
So it's like, I lost it.
Buy one, get one free?
Yeah, buy one, get one free. The origin of that is that frosting, but it's like a turn on the phrase frosting, where it's like buy one donut get the frosting free. It's like, you know, it's like elaborate, like the love, because it's French for egg, and which is shaped like a zero. That sounds fucking fake.
It's real.
But like we could do a whole.
You totally could.
We could do.
Would believe.
We could do like a wait, don't tell me style thing where one of us comes up with the fake origin, the other one has the real one.
Yeah.
And we see which one.
Yeah.
Someone guesses.
Yeah.
We could do it as a podcast. Like, I need another one of those, and then our fourth guest could guess which one was real.
Yeah. Look. Listen, you want to build a podcast empire, and you're like, oh, I have 2 podcasts, I'm gonna have a third. Listen, you gotta get your shit together.
On weeks like this, I feel like I've signed myself up for a whole lot.
A podcast empire cannot consist of 2 fucking podcasts, you freak.
You freak. All right, well, I'm next, and my obsession is not my podcast empire.
Great,
for
what is
once. My obsession is a musician. It was a confluence of events that led me to becoming obsessed with this musician this week. If anybody who I'm talking to or is listening to this has been...
That's how I usually talk to 2 other people. If anybody who I'm talking to
has been paying any attention to, like, my Spotify feed of music I've been listening to, then you might know.
I didn't know that was a thing I could do.
What do you think, we're fucking, like, sit around and, like, check in on your fucking Spotify feed?
Where do I even look at that?
What I
I know who
imagine
you're
is,
talking
Erin,
about, though.
That I'll tell you in a second, but what I imagine, Erin, is that half of your screen all the time is filled with my Spotify feed, and the other half is filled with Ben's Twitter feed.
Yeah, Ben was like, Erin, did you see my fucking picture I just posted on Twitter? I'm like, what the fuck am I doing? Like, sitting around, like, looking at your fucking Twitter, hoping that you're posting a picture? Well, joke's on you, yes. I am.
Oh, man. Okay, well, it's just like if you have Spotify open, it's just off to the right all the time. So, fuck you, Ben.
Is it on mobile?
I don't know.
No, it's not
I
on
only
mobile.
ever use Spotify on my phone.
I actually don't know if
Your
it's on mobile.
phone. I don't think it is.
So,
Well,
Hannah,
then what the fuck?
when I got off Facebook, I had to create a new Spotify account and port over all my playlists manually, which was a gigantic pain in the ass. So I don't know if I'm refollowing you on my non-Facebook fucking thing.
Dang. Well,
I might be.
That's fine.
I go simply by Erin on it.
Wow, you got Erin?
Oh, I'm following you.
Well, then can you guess? No.
What's your name?
No.
It's fine, you don't have to. Let me tell you how this happened, and then you'll know.
Are you okay? It sounds like it was something bad.
No, it wasn't, but it was one of those things where it's like you don't know anything about an artist, and then suddenly you're exposed to them like several times in the same week. So the first thing that happened was that Ben posted a video onto our Slack.
Shout out to Kylie.
Of a song called Django Jane by Janelle Monae, who is my obsession.
I was going to guess that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And I watched that, and it was wonderful. And then I watched the video of her Make Me Feel, which is her new song that just came out like a week or two ago. And it's awesome. Have you guys seen the video for Make Me Feel? Have you heard that song?
Yeah, it's so good.
No and no.
It's so good. It's very, like, it's extremely, like, channeling Prince. It's, like, so good. And the video, you can't really tell from the song itself, but the video is definitely, like, it's kind of a nod to that San Junipero episode of, in, like, the aesthetic. But there's, like, all this amazing dancing, and the whole plotline of the video is about her being bisexual and, like, the push and pull between her, like, she's in the middle caught between this sexy man and the sexy woman who both really want her, and she's, like, torn on it and stuff, and there's, like, it's all through dance and stuff, and they're in this cool club, and it's really good. And it's being hailed as, like, an anthem to bisexuality, even though most of basically the main references to bisexuality are in the video, not in the song itself. But I'm, like, totally on board with it. I'm not
That's
complaining.
awesome. I'm into it.
Yeah.
What's her name? What's her fucking name?
Janelle Monae.
Okay.
And so I listened to those two songs and I was like, these songs are great. And so I went and looked back at her songs on Spotify, and they all look to have sort of a sci-fi theme to them. And I listened to a few, and there was some stuff I really liked on it, but I kind of went along with my life. And then I saw somebody posting in the Facebook group for this other podcast called Wonderful ! Which is another McElroy joint. It's Griffin McElroy and his wife Rachel, basically doing our podcast, but as a couple, and they do two things each per week instead of one per person. And it's a great show. Love the concept.
She was fucking in Hidden Figures.
Oh yeah,
I learned
and
that
she was
today too.
Oh my god.
She was a cover girl model at some point. I don't know if that was because of her success in other areas, or if I don't know which came first, but she's just so cool. So
wow.
So I saw somebody in there posting about how they had just like gotten into it, and that's where I saw some mention of her albums being concept albums, and I was like, oh, that's kind of interesting. I know. And then on Wonderful, Rachel actually talked about the song "Make Me Feel" that I was just talking about as one of her like wonderful things that she mentioned, and then I was like, all right, I just have to like dig in and see what I can learn here. So I listened all the way through start to finish to her 3 albums that are on Spotify right now, and they are okay. So she put out her first album in, I think, 2010. She's about to release her 4th, which is called Dirty Computer. And she is not yet done with this one storyline that she's doing with her albums. And they're based off of a book/movie. It was like a silent film called Metropolis, I think. It's on Netflix. Like, I haven't watched it yet, but I'm going to. But like, she took this like silent film and this like book, and she's turned it into like now coming up on 4 albums with music that is like so incredible, and a lot of it has like crossed over into the mainstream. Like, I don't know if you know if the song Tightrope sounds familiar. It's like, whether you're high or low, whether you're high or low, you gotta tip on the tightrope.
Oh, yeah, that does sound familiar.
Yeah, that's her, and that's from one of her concept albums. And
God bless you.
God bless you.
Bless you. Holy crap.
The Way Too Broad podcast says God bless you. Pod bless you.
God bless you.
I'm in awe right now. Like, she's incredible, because she was incredible in Hidden Figures.
I have not seen Hidden Figures, but it's not because I don't
Oh,
want to.
get your shit together. Oh my god.
An amazing...
Get your shits together.
She's an amazing singer, amazing dancer, apparently an amazing actress.
She's an amazing actress.
Amazing
An
rapper,
amazing
too.
rapper, yes,
What?
exactly.
Get the fuck out of here.
There's a song called... So here are my song recommendations for you guys.
Great, I love this. I'm going to cue them up on my pod right now.
On your pod?
On my iPod. Joke's on you.
Spotify. I guess I don't have Spotify on this computer. Let me pull it up on my phone.
I'm ready to cue.
Okay, so there's the one that I get stuck in my head the most often that I really like is called Q.U.E.E.N. And it's, that's the other thing. She has collaborations with so many different people. So this one is her and Erica. Wait, no, that's
Badu.
wrong.
What album
That name
is
sounds
it?
familiar.
It is. It's Erica Badu. Huh?
Who is she? That sounds familiar.
Erica Badu?
Yeah.
She's a singer too, right?
She's a singer, a very famous singer.
Yeah.
What album is that from?
Okay, so I'm going to go through the albums and tell you my favorite songs on each of them, because there's only 3. Actually, the first one's really short. So the Arc Android is my favorite one, I think, which is her second album. If you look at her album artwork, you can even see like which part of the storyline you're looking at, because there's these little circles that are in the bottom left hand or bottom right hand corner as you're looking at it. And the first one has just one circle filled in out of 4, and then the second one, because it's suites 2 and 3, has the second and third filled in along with it. So it's like it's just so neat and all put together and amazing. So okay, the first one I recommend. Tightrope is very good. I I recommend...
I don't see Tightrope on it.
On featuring Big Boy.
Yeah, the second one,
On
Arcandroid.
Arcandroid.
Oh, I
Yeah.
see.
We have some road trips coming up, Hannah. We're going to listen to the shit out
Yes,
of this.
I recommend Cold War, which is the one before Tightrope. And then on The Electric Lady, which is an amazing album, I recommend Q.U.E.E.N. Highly, highly, highly. I recommend Electric Lady, which is the one right after that. And they're
So
really
That one
great
has a good
together.
video too.
Yes, it does. And also, so does Dance Apocalyptic, which is also awesome, which is on that album as well.
Lady is busy.
Yeah, she is. And
It's a
there's-
long album.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
then if you that plus the two that I talked about, Django Jane and Make Me Feel, like you're gonna love it. I
That's
guarantee
great.
it.
I love this. Like, she's like hustling. I love that.
She's and I was reading a little bit about her today. She came from basically nothing. Her mom she talks about it. Actually it turns out the stuff that she raps about in Django Jane is pretty actually autobiographical.
Oh,
Autobiographical.
Her mom was a janitor. Her
Revocable.
dad was a driver, like a bus driver, I think, or some kind of driver, a garbage truck driver maybe. And he also had like a drug problem, and she like had to work retail to help support them. And then she went to school for performing arts for a little bit, but she dropped out because she felt like it was kind of stifling her. Like she didn't want to be doing other people's work. She wanted, or like, reading other people's work. She wanted to be like making her own and writing her own musicals and stuff. So she moved to Atlanta and started working at like an Office Max or something and living in an apartment with 5 other women and just like working on her art and doing her shit. And that's basically
Love
like,
that.
she just like worked like tirelessly for years and is just like a really cool, awesome like person with a great work ethic.
So
And
proud
I
of
like
her.
a lot.
I
So
love
proud of her.
that. I'm excited to listen to this music.
Yeah, I love it. Yes, we should definitely listen to it on our road trip.
Road trip.
So that's mine, and I'm excited about her.
Cool.
She has a collaboration with Of Montreal on one of her albums. She's got everybody up in there.
Jeez, she's got Canada and everybody.
Erin,
Great obsession, Hannah.
Yeah,
thank
great job.
you.
Fucking great. I love getting new music from y'all. I do.
Me too. I listened to your last one a bunch. That's actually
Dessa?
yes, Dessa. That's also I think part of what got me in the mood for Janelle Monae was listening to Dessa and
Oh, I
like
need to-
hearing like cool badass rapping ladies, and
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I gotta revisit.
Gotta
Janelle
get
Monae.
Dessa in my Spotify library.
Yeah,
Can't get enough of badass rappers.
can't.
Great. My obsession this week. So the foreshadowing I was referencing before. I have been obsessed, believe it or not, with learning French.
Oh, really?
Whoa.
Yes.
I love French.
Voila. So this, I don't even know how this started. So I took French in high school. I was homeschooled, and I took it with this French lady in her house, and she was a little weird. And I took it because my friend was taking it and needed a second person, and so I was like, "Oui." And didn't remember any of it. So like my mom would make fun of me because I was like, she's like, say something in French, and I couldn't because I like took years of it and I didn't remember any. And for some reason I don't remember how this came about, but my mom and I were I've always wanted to go to Paris, like so bad. Just like I want to rent an Airbnb in Paris for a week or more and just like drink a bottle of wine at a cafe at night and go see the sights and all that, just like so bad. And my mom and I had been talking about, we had this funny family dinner one night where we, between the 5 of us, my me and Molly and my mom and dad and Dominic, we drank like 4 bottles of wine and very nearly bought plane tickets to Paris. But eventually my mom was sober enough to stop us. I still maintain it would have been a good idea. But it's probably better to like plan it out. But anyway, my mom and I had been talking about taking a French class, and there is this French for Travel class, a continuing education class at one of the community colleges near us, and we signed up. So we're taking this French for Travel class, and one of the prerequisites is basic French, which I technically have. Like, so I took French through high school, and then I also took French 1 and 2 in college, in community college, where I met my best friend Sarah, taking French class. Like the very first day, 2007, of my French class, Sarah, my best friend, came and sat next to me, and that's how we met. But I like dropped out of of community college like the second year of French, and like so I've taken all of this French and like can't speak French. But with this prerequisite of this class is that I have basic French, which I technically have, but I like don't. So I've been doing Duolingo.
Oh, cool.
Y'all know that?
Yeah.
And it's been so great. I've been obsessed with it. I'm on a 10-day streak of like doing it every day, and I have the goal level set to like insane. So I have to take like 5 lessons every day, and I've been loving it. And it's been really encouraging because remembering is a strong word. Like I don't remember any of it, but it's like I'll be like, I just know that it's this, right? Like I couldn't have told you.
Yeah.
Like when I'm doing it, it's like I know that it's this, and I can't tell you why, but I just like know that it's this, you know?
Yep.
But it's been really great. According to Duolingo, which I'm very dubious of, I'm apparently 50% fluent in French, which I just don't trust or believe at all. Like, I don't really think that that's accurate. But anyway, our French for Travel class starts next week and it's every Tuesday for like through April and into May. And then hopefully we'll kind of keep our French chops up and like plan a trip to France at some point.
Cool.
So, yeah.
I love French.
I love French.
Whoa.
J'aime français. J'aime le français.
Ben and I both were big French heads in high school, I think.
Yeah.
Right?
One of my biggest regrets about being an engineering major in college, and especially I didn't come in as an engineering major, so I transferred into it, so I was like a little behind and had to catch up, was not having any time for any language classes. Because I took Latin and French for all 4 years of high school, and I've always loved languages, and French especially, and I just haven't. And by the end of high school, I was actually like pretty, like I got to the point where I could read and hear French and like understand it without necessarily translating it into English in my head.
That's cool. Yeah.
But like not that's. Yeah, but it was really cool and it was really exciting, but I'm not there anymore by a long shot. At least like haven't practiced it.
I would encourage you to check out Duolingo. Like they have, it's totally free. It's really interesting. They have obviously a website and an app, and the website is a little more thorough than the app, but the app is really great, and you can just do like 1 lesson a day. You know, and it's like all that gaming, you know, theory and stuff to keep you hooked on it. But the app or the website has a lot of really great, like explanations for everything, which at my beginner, they probably wouldn't be as good for you, but like at my beginner kind of level, is really good for me because it's like things that are translate directly are really easy for me, but things that are like you know, like
weird
like
things in French.
A lot of weird things, like possessives or like questions, or like things that like don't have a 1-to-1 translation, but could, like when you say "what is that," it's like "what is that it is" or something like that, you know. But although they have like explanations on the website that are really helpful, but like even something you could just add a little French to your day, like effortlessly, you know?
Yeah, I'm taking the placement test right now as we speak.
Isn't there a speaking part of it?
I don't think
yeah,
so.
it's really nice. A speaking part, not in the placement test, but like I love that the Duolingo app and the website, there are some parts where you speak into the microphone. There are some parts where there's no text, but it like says French and you have to translate it into French. There's French that you translate into English. There's English that you translate into French. So it kind of like hits all of those like knowledge spots, you know?
My favorite moment, I think, from when I was learning French that I still like think about, like what an incredible shift in my perspective it was when I learned how the fuck you read it, because the words when you start out, look, if you look at French and like even versus looking at Spanish like written language and you only speak English, the first time that you look at it and then you hear someone say it,
I hear some familiar sounds.
I turned my sound off because I'm a polite podcasting girl.
She's a professional woman with a podcast empire, that's why.
Sorry, I said girl. But okay. So, but then I think it was like the first day, my French teacher was like, basically, you just basically cut the last letter off, and that's how you read it, and you only put it back on if there's like a vowel afterwards.
Yes.
And like that moment where I was like, oh my God, I can connect what they're saying with what I'm reading was like so monumental for me that I like never will forget. It was like on par. This is such a stoner episode for me, but it was like, it was on par with the first time that I smoked pot, realizing like how much of the world around me was like based on my perception of it. Just like, cause that was the first like major drug I ever did of any kind. It was the only really. Come on. All I'm saying is
the first major drug I ever did.
That was my first big drug. And so like,
that was my first big detail.
So like, but I'm just saying, like, I didn't actually know like how much of what I was seeing was like so subjective based on what was in my system. You know what I mean? And it was like this. It was like almost the same when I realized how the fuck you read French. So,
yeah.
I loved it. I love it.
I really like the explanations that are only on the website. They're not in the app, which is really annoying. But there's actually a wiki, a community maintained wiki with that, so you can check it on your phone. But just like the liaisons too, like a word. You know, you can have 5 French words that are pronounced a certain way, but when they're strung together in the same order, are pronounced completely differently because, like, they just, like, string. Like, the sounds that you don't say when you're just saying the one word, you say when you're saying, like, the 2 words together.
Yeah,
which is, like,
it's called
fucking
a liaison.
nuts. Liaison, yeah. A liaison, and there's, like, one other term for it if it's, like, another special thing. But anyway, I've been having a blast. It's like this realization I keep having as an adult, where it's like I had the same thing when I took math in college, like in community college, where like in middle school and high school, I was like, oh, I'm just bad at math. But then I took it and I had really great teachers, and I actually like worked at like studying it, and I was like, oh, I'm actually good at this. Like, this is something I'm actually, like, if I apply myself, I can learn, and I'm actually good at it. That's the same, like, moment I'm having with this. I'm, like, because I was, like, languages don't stick in my head. I don't actually, like, I can't learn foreign languages, and I've been doing this for 10 days, and, like, have seen dramatic improvement. Like, I'll read a sentence in French and, like, just know what it means, right? Without that, like, level of translating word by word. I'll be like, oh, the horse is gray. Yeah. Or something even, like, more complicated. And, you know, she's losing the horse. You know, she's eating the horse. No, that's not right. And just, like, having that moment of, like, oh, I am smart enough to know this. Like, this is for me. I can learn this. I'm smart enough, you know, if I actually just, like, practice, you know, just a little bit every day or whatever.
Nice.
So, yeah.
I love it. Why did that stop you from getting tickets to Cameron Esposito?
Because it's a Tuesday, and I have my French for travel class.
So wait, have you started taking the class yet?
No, the class starts on Tuesday, this Tuesday.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You'll-
Yep.
you
But I
might still
feel
be
prepared
hungover.
for it. Yeah, I might be. I'm taking Monday off, so
Okay.
I don't think I will be. By Tuesday night, I certainly hope to not be hungover from, like, frickin' the weekend.
I mean,
But
you are
we're-
turning
we're-
30.
We're gonna try our best, right?
Yeah, exactly. Only can be out till midnight, so.
Yeah, Pence rules. Pence rules. We're adhering to strict Pence rules. Oh, another funny thing I read was that his wife, mother said that that sometimes on the weekends Mike Pence enjoys relaxing with a nice non-alcoholic beer. Like
Oh my God.
Oh my god.
So we're on Pence rules this weekend.
I just need to know, like,
fucking
did they both
worst.
start out this way, or did he do something really bad to her,
Yeah.
and now they have all these rules?
He got drunk and he had that gay sex, and she was like, "Now you can't drink and you can't be alone without me." You know, we have a historical record of every bigot,
Yep.
every homophobic bigot being that way because they're gay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
He had that gay
Absolutely.
sex. Yeah. That's what you said.
What'd I say?
He had that gay sex.
Yeah, he had that gay sex. I said it. I'll say it again. That gay sex. I'll say it thrice. You know, I was reflecting on that. I was in a rest stop bathroom, thinking about that. Was it a senator with that wide stance?
Yeah.
You know
I
what I'm
think that
talking
was
about.
an airport bathroom.
I don't care. You think I care?
Continue.
But I was just thinking about that. I was thinking about how torn I am about that, like, whole thing. Like, I was, like, delighted that like, person was exposed as a hypocrite and as a liar and as, like, just, like, a closeted, you know, bigot or whatever. But also that, like, people should be able to, like, gay men should be able to solicit consensual gay sex with other gay men wherever they please without being arrested. Mm-hmm. You know? Mm-hmm. Like, just, like, what a complex, like, a delightful scenario that was, and also because it exposed so much and revealed so much, but also, like, just a really problematic, a problematic culture that sort of thing happened, you know? Mm-hmm. Anyway, this is a really stoner episode. What's going on, y'all?
We're on vacation.
That's right.
Except for Ben. Ben, do you have class tomorrow? No.
Yeah.
Spring break? You do?
No, spring break
time?
was last week.
Shut up.
I I have a meeting at 11 and then class at 1:30.
Okay, you're fine. But you're going to be doing Duolingo until wee hours, I promise you.
Yeah.
This is wee hours.
Yeah, too.
Excited. Oh, did you guys see that? Oh, I was about to make a Parks and Rec reference. You know that part where Leslie Knope is running for office against the rich kid,
Paul Rudd.
and his father is like basically like funding his campaign, but then in the middle of the campaign he dies, and she doesn't know about it when she's in this campaign event, and they ask her for a statement on him, and she says all this mean stuff, and then they were like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I meant the fact that he passed away today," and she was like, "I." Sad. This like old reporter lady is like, "Is that your statement? I'm sad." It's so good. See, Erin will like it. Every time.
Sad. I love Amy Poehler so much.
Yeah.
so good. I can just picture her saying it. I gotta get through season 1, you guys.
It's a slog, but you'll get through it.
It's a fucking slog. I'm sad.
It'll all be worth it when you get there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It'll be.
You know what?
cried
I
so much.
have pinpointed what the fucking problem is with season 1. It's Mark Brandanowicz.
Yeah.
He's the worst character in any comedy show I've ever seen.
He's not funny.
He's not funny. He's not interesting.
He's
I
not
don't
likable.
get. He's a ladies' man kind of, but also like not.
Yeah.
And he's like,
He doesn't, like, his face doesn't give him license to be a
Right.
ladies' man. He's
Yeah.
They're really good in, I think that it's that, and it's also the fact that that is so far from how they ended up being able to make every single character, even the ones you hate the most, like, so lovable and fun to watch at the
Yes.
same time. They're so good at that for every other part of the show, but Mark Brandanowicz was just a big miss.
case in point, John Ralphio.
John Ralphio,
Just a shithead, but the funniest fucking
the
character in
funniest
the world.
shithead you've ever seen in your life. Oh, man. Anyway, I guess we should probably...
Oh, wait, before we stop.
What?
You know that Ben Schwartz and Thomas Middleditch are coming to Boston? We talked about that, right?
Yes.
They have a second show. They're doing a second show late night at the Wilbur at like 9:30, and it's not sold out yet.
What's the date?
Your
Late
mom.
March, I think, or June. No, it's June, I think.
You're right.
Speaking of your mom, do we have any emails?
I don't think so.
There's a way to know for sure.
That's the thing you have to guess at. You know?
I don't think so.
She just licked her finger and put it to the wind.
Yeah.
That was a great bit for only us.
We had to have one. We always have to have
I
one.
have to narrate your fucking slapstick.
No new emails.
Okay.
Everybody let us down.
Well, we read a lot last time. We really got through a lot of
Our
emails
listeners
last time.
suck.
I'm just joking. Thanks.
Our listeners are fucking the frickin' best.
They're the freaking best.
Do you like how you use fucking and frickin'
Oh.
in the same sentence?
Oh my goodness. But I do have to finally shout out somebody who is a mostly stranger who I'm pretty sure has been listening to our podcast, and I want to give her props. She's part of Lady Pod Squad. Her name is Amanda.
Is she the one that keeps retweeting our episodes?
Yes. And
I appreciate that.
yeah, and here's the thing about that. And this is why I think that she's actually listening and not just like being a very nice cross-promoting person is, number one, she has two Twitters. One of them is her podcast Twitter, and one of them is her personal Twitter, and they both, like, we follow each other on both of them or whatever, but the one that she's retweeting us from is her personal Twitter, so that's the first one. And the second one is that she's been retweeting them, like, in sequential order, starting, like, way back. So I think she's retweeting
Yeah,
them
I
as
noticed
she's
that.
listening to them.
Oh, cool.
So I want to give a shout out to...
Which you'll hear in like a year because she's like listening to like the old stuff.
Well, she's almost caught up. I just got Amanda Iman is her name, and her podcast, her ear snack, is called Amanda's Pick Show A Go Go. Pick like picture, and it's
I thought it was
movie.
pig.
Oh no, so sorry.
Oh man, Amanda, you should reconsider.
Amanda,
change your podcast into thing.
thank you so much for listening. Please change everything about your own podcast.
Did we scare away that like Swedish listener?
We never did hear from them,
We
but
must
sometimes
have.
we still get downloads from Sweden, so I don't know.
Okay, all right, cool.
Hit us
guess
Maybe
up.
not so much.
Huh?
Hit us up, Sweden mystery.
Yeah, hit us up. We love you.
Hit us up. No,
Is that too
what?
much?
Yeah, you just got real intense. Hit us up. We're totally chill. We love you so much. Please call it me.
Okay. No new iTunes reviews. I was just checking that too. So, thanks everybody for reaching out last week.
You're welcome.
Trust you'll do it. And the previous weeks, and then we didn't read it, and we didn't reward you for your behavior. So of course you're not going to keep doing it, and we understand.
Because you're just like
totally.
We love
animals.
you. We love
You're
you.
just animals. And we're
love
training you.
All right,
Yeah.
listen.
Don't listen to Ben.
I'm trying to
me.
insult them while you compliment them.
Too much. Well, he's trying to compensate for the extraness that I'm bringing to the table.
This has been Way Too Ben. Join us next week for more Ben.
Okay, well, let's do homework. I mean, that doesn't sound fun.
We're not done this.
I actually have to do homework right after this. Real homework.
Ben, what's your homework for us?
Oh, Ben, I'm sorry.
Listen to I'm mostly done. It's fine. Listen to the daily. Start with Friday, March 9th. Or start wherever you want, really. It comes out every fucking day. So
start where you want.
But they're short. They're like 30 minutes max. Mostly like between 20 and 30. Yeah. Get a nice little bite of the news. In great detail.
Bite-sized news.
Big detail.
Big detail.
Also,
big detail.
Follow my Twitter. Twitter. Post pictures of Como there a lot.
That's a cat.
How would they not know that at this point?
How would they not know that, Hannah?
Because someone could listen. This is her first episode.
But they would just know. They would just know in their heart.
I got a picture of him right before we started recording, sitting right next to the microphone. I also got a picture of him looking at Hannah while we were in the hangout before Erin got here, so I might post that too.
Yeah.
He's cute as fuck. Twitter's. I realized I haven't said the Twitter yet. It's at @AnyDiscoGreg.
Excellent. My homework is listen to Janelle Monae, and if you want a place to start, try her 2 new singles that are out, which are Make Me Feel and Django Jane. And then I would go to Q.U.E.E.N, which is like Q.U.E.E.N. It's like spelled like an acronym, but it's never explained what the acronym is.
Spelled like the way you fucking spell queen.
Yeah, but it's like, it's like capitals and dots. I don't know. And then
it's hard to miss because it's spelled just like you spell queen.
Featuring Erykah Badu, and then listen to all the rest of it because it's all very good.
And get your shits together and watch Hidden Figures, you freaks.
Yeah, and we'll all watch Hidden Figures. Erin.
Did you say your fucking Twitter? You fucking didn't.
Oh, no, I didn't.
Erin is on a rampage today.
I'm on vacation is what I am on, Ben.
She's on a vacation rampage.
Rampage in my vacation.
My Twitter is Anthropology, like the study people with an H at the beginning.
It's like a clever portmanteau, okay?
Yeah. It's like, just think of like a Twitter name and then think of like a clever portmanteau and then that's how you spell it.
Yeah. You freaks.
You freaks.
Okay, my homework is to, if you're feeling it, if you've been like, I wish I knew another language, check out fucking Duolingo. You can learn French, you can learn Italian, you can learn Spanish, you can learn German, you can learn anything you want. Just do it. And that's great. Check out your local community colleges for continuing education courses. There is probably a really affordable foreign language course there as well, if you want to do that. Like, my French for Travel class is for, like, 2 months, and it's, like, $130. And that's for, like over 2 hours of classes every week. That's great. That's a great price. Great. My Twitter, I thought of a really funny way to say that I forgot. My Twitter is @EarnBurn, and I also review lesbian movies on Instagram at LesbianMovieReviews.
And
my tweeter Pumpkin Eater. That's what I was going to say.
Oh, nice.
I thought you meant your handle. And then our Ear Snack has a Twitter at @TooBroadPod, TOO BroadPod, where we always post up the latest episode as soon as it is live. And then what else? You can email us, please, at waytoobroad@gmail.com. No pressure. And also we have a Facebook group. If you search Way Too Broad, we'll come up. And we post links and stuff there when we remember to, which I didn't this week because it was fucking nuts. But I'll do better at some point. And I love you.
Sweden.
And
Well, goodbye.
goodbye.
You two, and I'll see fucking you tomorrow, Hannah.
See you tomorrow, Erin. Talk to you guys
Wow.
next week. The podcast candle is now extinguished. Bye.
Bye.